Okay, guys. My name is David Zarate. For those of you, I don't know that I know any of you guys. I'm a working court reporter here in San Antonio. Have been for 26 years already. Okay, and I teach here at the college. I think this is my 12th year, 11th or 12th year. Okay, so they have me teaching what you guys are going to learn this semester, which is a software. Are y'all just out of theory, I guess? Anybody in speed? Anybody in theory? You're in theory right now? Wow. Okay. I didn't know if they were going to let you guys do that or not. I told them yes, but...
I think because of the class, that's what she told me, go ahead and take it. Because I took some of the theory in the summer, and then I'm continuing.
Oh, okay, so you're taking it again.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Okay. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, like I said, I've been practicing for 26 years already. I started right out of high school from Victoria. Done a little bit of everything. I got out of school, started working with the freelance, doing depositions, hearings. Did it for 3 years. One of my first jobs was court. Pretty intimidating. Okay. The firm that I was working for really didn't do court, but they were really behind that day, and they just happened to call and said, we need somebody, so she sent me. And I'll get into that a little bit more. It was way intimidating. And as the class goes on, I'll kind of tell you that story, and it's kind of cool and kind of scary, but it turned out to be really good. Okay. So I did that for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and then I started doing court, and I've done court ever since. You know, and then you have a little bit of, I have a lot of friends that are in the freelance that would never do court, and like myself, I'm in court, and I you know, God forbid I ever lost my job, I don't know that I'd go back to freelancing. And not that it's not good. I mean, you can make a lot of money, you can do real well, but I've just gotten so comfortable with court. And just depending on what you do and what you like, I need structure. I'm that guy that needs to know that it's A, B, C, and not A, C, D, B, no. And with freelance, that's kind of what it's like. You don't know, you know, what's going to happen. You know, they have you down on the books. You know what, tomorrow you're taking 2 depositions tomorrow in Eagle Pass. Okay. Get up, get ready to go. Hey, you know what, they just called, they canceled. Don't worry about it. So you stay home, you work on other stuff or whatever, and they call you that afternoon, hey, we just got a call in to go take a depo right now. Get down there as soon as you can. It's going to be about 2 hours. Had no idea it was even coming. So, and you may be off the books that day. You may say, you know, with freelance you have a lot of different opportunities, I kind of call them. You know, if you don't feel like working that day, just call the office, and if they're not super duper busy, then you're off. You can have the whole day off, whatever. You can have the whole week off if you want to. I mean, if y'all aren't real busy. But with freelance, you don't work, you don't get paid. You know, so I think you maybe have been explaining some of these things before you probably got into this. No? Maybe? Okay. Well, I mean, and you know, court reporting allows you a lot of flexibility. You know, I don't know how much they told you at the orientation or whatever, but you know, I'm not a sugarcoater. Okay. You come and ask me, and I'm going to tell you how it is. You know, you're never going to walk away usually from a conversation we have and say, I wonder what he was thinking. No, I'll usually tell you. Okay. So if you think you might not like the answer, don't ask the question or whatever. So, but you know, I say a lot of things to be funny, and I say things to be serious too. Okay, so I like bringing humor into it. I think it's an easier way to learn. You know, when you know, so if you don't think it's real funny, just kind of laugh, amuse me. Okay, so some of the jokes are corny, but. Anyway, I'll try to make it as fun as I can, because I think when it's fun, you're going to learn more. Okay, I'll try to be more interactive with you guys, a lot more interactive to where, you know, hey, tell me what we're doing right here. Try it, what is it doing for you? Some of your computers, because they're different, are gonna act different. It's not gonna do the same thing, so we're gonna have to do some different things to it. So I've been teaching this class for I think like 5 years, you know, the software side of it. And then in the spring, I teach procedures. So you're probably gonna take that class next. But the last semester was the hardest semester I've ever had teaching this class. I mean, just because the different computers and things just weren't working out. I mean, but it was fun. I mean, everybody still learned, everybody still got it, but it was crazy, okay? So, what else? So I've been teaching court. I mean, I've been taking court now for 22 years. I've been with the county, actually this is my 23rd year, I believe, 23rd. So, and I love it. I sat in Child Protective Services court for 22 years. You ever think you got it tough, go sit in that court just one day. You'll realize you got it pretty good, okay? It's tough. It's tough to hear, but you know, as you go through court reporting, do different things, you're gonna see that you get to learn a whole lot of things about a whole lot of different things. You know, you'll take depositions about all kinds of stuff. Murders, slip and falls, to, I took the deposition of a guy that used to buy and sell cows for rich people. And they would fly him around the country to go look at cows, and that was his job. I thought it was awesome. It was pretty neat, whatever. So, I mean, you get to meet a lot of different people, do a lot of different things, and at the same time make a lot of money. You know, you have the opportunity to really make a lot of money, you know, and it's still out there. So I don't care what people are telling you about, you know, computers are going to take over, and I don't know, maybe. But 31 years ago when I got interested in it, they were saying the same thing. And I got interested as a sophomore in high school. And that's why I'm telling you that far back. It took me about 4 years to get out of school. I'll kind of tell you that story later too, but they were telling me that back then. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was pretty good at baseball, so I thought that's what I was going to do. And then this thing came up, and it's like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm not good enough to make it to the majors, so I need to find something that I'm interested in. And took a typing class in high school, was good at it. Had never done it before in my life. I just knew that I needed it for college and to type up papers, you know, and stuff like that, and just happened to be good at it. So a friend of the family that my parents know real well got him to talk to me about it. And I didn't know anything about court reporting, what it was, anything. All I knew is that he made good money. That was it, you know. Zero idea. So he sent me some brochures on the school. My dad and I went and looked at it. My parents and I went and looked at it when I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah. So not many people know what you want to do as a sophomore in high school. You know, but it's not to say that, you know, even later in life, you know, that you can't do it. But you're going to find out that this is going to be the most challenging thing that you ever do in your life. And we get paid the money that we do for a reason, because not very many people get out. I don't know if they told y'all that at orientation. Usually they kind of skip over that a little bit. But the dropout rate in school, I'll tell you, because like I said, I'm not a sugarcoater. You know, the dropout rate in school is about 90%. And I'm not saying that we're smarter than brain surgeons, but not even brain surgeons. There's a 90% dropout rate in school, I don't think. You know, but this, you're going to find out, is the most challenging thing that you'll ever do in your life, okay? Up to now, I think. And it was for me, you know, coming out of school. And not to pat myself on the back, I had never really had to work real hard at anything. You know, school, I wasn't honor roll, but I made A's and B's. Listened in class, never had to study. Baseball was second nature, sports was second nature. So I never really had to work at anything. So when I came to this, I really didn't know how to work. You know, so that's why I think it kind of took me a little while, because I was feet first into it in the beginning, and then it's like, yeah, I'll get it sooner or later. It's not one of those things, and you'll find that out going through this. You know, this is going to be the most challenging thing you ever do, but we talk about that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's literally a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if you can get out, okay? I mean, I don't know if you've heard what we make, but it's good. But there's a reason why. Because when you get out, you know, you're the elite. You're the ones that made it through. You're the 10%. And I don't think in all the years that I've been doing it, teaching it, talking to people about it, I don't think it's the type of profession where you can take somebody off the street and just say, you know what, just keep going until you get it. I don't think that's it. You're either kind of born to do it. It sounds kind of silly, but I think that's what it is. I really do. I don't think it's not made for everybody. If the dropout rate is 90%, that pretty much tells you it's not made for everyone. But you don't have to be the smartest person to do this. I'm living proof of that. You don't have to be the smartest person. You have to be the most dedicated person.
Right.
I was the person that, when growing up, my parents instilled in me that you don't quit. Okay? You get to the end, you don't like it, you can do something else, but you don't quit. Well, I wanted to quit about 6 months into it. You know, one, it was hard, and two, I wanted to go back and play baseball somewhere. So my dad's real big on education, so he's like, you know what, we'll pay for it. So go back and play, but you're going for 4 years, and you're going to get a degree in something. So he said, you sit down and think about it. And they had already spent about 10 grand on my school. You know, between machine, school books, tuition, everything, they had paid a lot of it up front. So he said, think about it. And I knew that this was what I wanted to do. And you'll get into it and you'll realize, you know what, I need to love what I'm doing. But I knew that it wasn't going to get the best of me. That's what made me finish. Is that, you know what, once I set my mind to something, you're not going to get past. I'm not getting past it until I get to the end. I'm the guy that's going to finish, and I did. You know, they say the average person will take that test, the state test, 3 times. Have they told you about the state test? A little crazy. 95% or better, all 3 parts. Just for argument's sake, you can make 200s and a 94 and you fail it. The whole test. And you have to go back and take all 3 again. I took it once. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not the smartest person, you know, whatever, but I went up there with the mindset of, you know what, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to pass it the first time, but I'm just going to go up there and just give it what I got. Just see what I need to work on, come back. And once you put your mind to it, you can do it, okay? And you can do it. But the average human being isn't programmed to where you failed this many times. So everything's about perspective here in court reporting, okay? If you look at it as failing, you're not going to be here long. So you might want to look into auto mechanics, basket weaving, something like that. You're not going to be here very long. But if you look at small victories, you'll get through it. Every day. Just a small victory every day. And you'll understand what I'm talking about once we get into this class. You'll understand. And once you start going to school a little bit more, starting to go through it, speeds, stuff like that, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about, small victories, okay? Because if you look at it on the average side, you're probably going to take a test every day. You're going to fail almost every day. Almost every day you're going to fail because the passing is at 96%, okay? You're not going to pass every day. Because if you are, then you're going to blaze through this and you're going to be the exceptional reporter, which there was one that came through here just not that long ago. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, Sarah Murphy. She came through in 52 weeks.
Wow.
Not months, weeks, not even a year. Not even a year from the time that she got out of, I think that was including theory. Super impressive. Even if it wasn't, even if she went through theory and it took her 52 weeks to get through speed, is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, which I think is what it was. I think once she got through speed, then it was 52 weeks from there. Even so, phenomenal, okay? But you have to hear her story to understand how she did it. She wasn't just some phenom that just came off the street and just was good at it. She came to school every day, practiced 8 hours every day. Guys, I'm realistic too. Don't make the faces. It's okay. I'm realistic too, okay? She, one, was single, young, still lived at home, but she had this kind of time. She had a job, but she kind of worked her own hours, so she had that kind of time. I'm not saying that you have to devote that kind of time, but if you think you're coming to school and you're getting out of school just by coming to school, auto mechanic, basket weaving, and I'll talk about that a lot. You'll hear auto mechanic, basket weaving, and I'm not making fun of those cats either, because you have to be good at that too. This is beyond that, okay? That's something that eventually I think you can learn. I think you can learn that if you just go to school and just kind of do the school. This isn't it, okay? What this class is going to teach you is to do it quicker, okay? So the stuff that you're doing, all of the stuff that you're doing on the machine, and you'll see because partway through, probably about 3/4 through, you're going to start bringing your machines and we're going to start hooking up to your computers and we're going to start doing it. So you're going to see it coming up and you're going to start building your dictionary from there. Start from the bottom, build up. You don't build up and go to the bottom, okay? So slow, small steps, small victories, okay? It's going to seem a little frustrating at times, and that's okay. I mean, we'll work through it. So this is, like, again, this is my name, my numbers. I don't know if somebody's taking the class online, but if you are, and you can't read this, my cell number is 210-863-1588, and my work number is 335-3912, and my email is dzarate, Z-A-R-A-T-E, CSR@yahoo.com. Guys, if you ever have a question about something, you're working on something, and it's like, I know we worked on this and it's not doing, you can text me, call me, whatever. I'm like everybody else. I have a life too. But if you leave me a message and you're working through it, and say it's on a Friday night, and you happen to be practicing, if I don't get back to you Saturday, then I'll get back to you Sunday, and then you can practice it again, okay? But, I kind of say that jokingly, but you'll find out. This is gonna engulf you, okay? It's gonna consume you, and it should, because the pot of gold is there, and it's if you want to do it, okay? All right. So really, what we need for this class, and I'm going to go around first. And I think that's what we'll do first. Introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and how you kind of got interested in court reporting, just so I kind of get to know a little bit about you. Okay, we'll start.
My name is Nicole Madrono. I worked at Bear County also for 10 years, so that's how I got interested in doing court reporting. I don't want to disencourage anybody, but I've been in school already 6 years. But unlike the girl you were talking about, I have 2 kids who are a lot older now, but 2 kids by myself and working and all of that stuff. So it's taken me a little longer. Took a little break for a while too, but I'm back this semester, so that's pretty much it.
My name's Josh. I'm from Southern California, and I don't know, I kind of just like the professional and appeal, and just kind of just being in the court interests me, I guess.
Legal field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
I'm Ariana. I'm from San Antonio, and my dad's friends are court reporters, so I pretty much talked to her about it. And
Seemed interesting. Good.
My name is Michelle, and I'm from Brownsville, and I worked in the county also for 10 years, so that's kind of what got me.
Got you to it. Well, good. Well,
Debbie Martinez, I started court reporting back in the 80s with the old manual machine with paper. Went through the program, so I was listening with you. And graduated, but I never pursued to go on to my test. And so, in talking with an instructor here, she said, "What are you doing?" So anyway, so I came back. So I'm going to give it a try
Good for
and
you.
commit
Good.
and take it from here.
Good
so
for you.
I've got a big learning curve, but it's okay. Like, gotta
good.
Hi, my name's Angie. I'm pretty much like Debbie here. You know, I went back to school for it, didn't finish, moved to San Antonio, been here since '95. And then finally when I saw my new job that I just got, the pay raise, oh Lord, man, I gotta get to finish up on my career.
Yeah.
So I'm back. And law has always been a passion of mine.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. And you know what, guys? You know, when I ask you a question about something, don't be scared to answer, okay? One thing we're not going to do here is make fun of each other, or that's my job, and I'll make fun of you a little bit, okay? But you'll see, it's just a laugh, okay? I like to laugh, so if I make fun of you, it's just a laugh, okay? It's just to kind of cut. I don't like being serious a whole lot, you know? So I'll make stupid jokes or whatever, just kind of bear with me, okay? But it's not to hurt your feelings, so if I hurt your feelings and, you know, just come and tell me, hey, that wasn't funny, you know, whatever. And then I'm really gonna make fun of you. No. But, you know, I think that it helps learning. To me, it did. You know, when you're interactive, when you have fun, it makes it easier and you want to learn, okay? And that's what this is about. Make it fun. You know, you'll see going through school, there's enough seriousness that you're gonna need to go through, so you'll appreciate the times that you kind of laugh, and you need to, but encourage each other, okay? And you know, one thing that I'll tell you too is misery loves company, okay? So don't get caught up in the negativity of somebody else or whatever. Try to pep them up too, you know, and that's what it takes to get through school. And there was the school that I went to, there was 250 students. So it was big, but it was small, if that makes sense, you know, and whatever. But, you know, it was considered one of the best schools in the state at the time. And, you know, people are always going to make excuses for things that they don't understand and get, okay? So it's always somebody else's fault or whatever, instead of, hey, you know what is the answer? I need the answer so that I can work on it and get it through and say, she's a terrible instructor, or he's a terrible instructor. I don't learn anything. You know what? You come in late, you leave early, and you've only been here about 9 times. So you didn't learn because you weren't here, okay? So, you know, be careful when you start throwing stones, because most of them are gonna come back, you know, okay? So encourage each other, try to stay positive, and you'll see that this will be fun, because once you get to know the software side of it, it's gonna make it really fun, because you're gonna find out things about the machine and about being able to type up your test a lot quicker than messing with, how do I, let me just backspace, type it all in. No. Think and work smarter, not harder, okay? You're gonna hear that a lot. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. Work smarter, not harder, okay? You can work harder if you want. I don't really care. You can type up your whole test on this thing and use it as a typewriter. Seriously, you're burning the money that you spent on this class, and you're burning time, okay? And you'll see that once you get to 225, you're not gonna be able to do that anymore, okay? You need this thing to work for you, because you need to start cranking that stuff out. And you'll find out when you get out of school, you guys are gonna be much more advanced than we were. You know, when I got out of school 26 years ago or whatever, I took my test on a typewriter. My machine was a paper. It came out, have y'all seen the paper? Do y'all even know what it looks like?
Yeah. I don't think they know what
This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
This was an old machine. This is the exact, not the exact, but this was the exact model machine that I had, and everything comes out, well, the ribbon's not in there, but it just goes. Ridiculous, okay? So if you're using one of these, yeah, good luck, okay? But That's okay if you are. If you are, hopefully you're not, right? Nobody? Y'all have good machines?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, one of the girls did in one of my last classes or whatever, but she had it hooked up. She had it computerized. So she had the computer thing in there to where it was reading into, and it was able to read off the cable, so she was able to do real time, okay? But that's what I took my test on. So I had to read my notes and type it up. That's why I'm telling you. But I was a good, I mean, and not that you can't do it, you don't want to do it anymore, okay? And you'll see once you get out, time is money. So the more pages you crank out, the more money you're gonna make, okay? So that's what it's all about. Work smarter, not harder, okay? Good. So what you're gonna need is your laptop every week, and make sure that you've got this on there, that it's loaded. If not, then you need to talk to Rick, Mr. Hopkins. Talk to Mr. Hopkins and make sure that you get it loaded before Wednesday. Guys, we're starting Wednesday, okay? So class starts Wednesday. Class starts at 6 o'clock too, okay? So unless you text me, call me, and things happen, guys. Don't get in a bind about stuff. Running a little bit late, baby got sick, babysitter didn't show up, husbands happened, boyfriend, whatever. I don't really care. Text me and call me. Hey sir, gonna be a little bit late, running 5 minutes late, I'll wait on you, okay? If it gets into 15 minutes, we're starting the class. But you see that I record the class every week. It's not a reason to miss. Coming here is the best thing, okay? You're interactive, you're able to do it. You'll see, and things happen, and I understand whether it's vacations, sickness, car problems, whatever. I mean, you know, sometimes you're just gonna miss, and you're gonna have to miss or whatever, okay? I understand, no problem, let me know. If not, then it is what it is, okay? And you'll see that I'm not super duper tolerant about silliness. I am when it comes to funny stuff, but not, you know, stuff like that. Well, I've missed the last 3 weeks. I know I didn't tell you, but hey, can you go over all that stuff again? We're gonna need to shut that thing down for me to tell you. Okay? Not gonna happen. You watch the things, if you have questions, come back. They better be specific, pointed questions about what happened, okay? That you couldn't get it. But if you work with me, I guarantee you I'll go 200% to work with you. You don't tell me, it is what it is, okay? But, and it's not to be intimidating, it's just work with me, I'll work with you. It's simple, it's really easy, okay? We'll make the class fun, but if you're here, we can work through problems. If you're not here, well, my computer wouldn't, I don't know, what were you, well, I was trying to do that thing, about that thing, you know, where it goes in that circle thing. No, okay? So it's best to be here so that we can work through the problems here, okay? And if I can't answer it, I'll find out for you. If I have to call support, and sometimes there's stuff, and I'm not the guru of this either, okay? So I don't know everything there is about, but I know how to work the software, and that's what we're gonna do is get through this and get through the software, okay? And it'll be fun, it'll be good. Do y'all have any questions about anything that we've kind of covered? Class will usually last about 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes. And you'll see once we start getting into it. Some days we're gonna stay a little bit longer, some days we'll get out a little bit earlier because I don't wanna go through, we'll finish the chapter, some of the chapters will be quick, and it's like, you know what, I don't wanna start another chapter, especially like on numbers, and you'll see, numbers is gonna take us a while. So we're gonna dedicate probably 2 days to numbers. 2 whole days. So it's Monday, Wednesday. Y'all have any confusion about that? Monday and Wednesdays? Okay, they should have told y'all it was 2 days, Monday and Wednesday.
Are we gonna require any books?
No. Everything's on the computer. So everything's here and you'll kind of see, we'll kind of go over it. Wednesday you come to help, lesson player, and that's all of your lessons right there.
Okay.
So it has like little videos, it has tutorials, it has little things where you interact with it and kind of do it on the computer. You know, so you get to interact and do it. Don't freak out about messing anything up. You're not going to mess it up because, and we'll kind of go over it more on Wednesday. Right here on install lesson, there's all of your lessons again. Guys, don't go into this just yet, okay? If you're going to go in and look at anything, you go into lesson player only. Do not go into
Install lessons.
install lesson. Do not go into that yet, okay? If you want to go into the lesson player, you can go in there. I wouldn't yet, because you're really not going to know what's going on. But if you want to go in there, look at it, I guess you can. Do not go in here, okay?
Got it.
And if you do, you might want to take that mechanic basket weaving class, okay? You can't even follow simple direction. And I'll tell you why right now. One right here on this install lesson is all of your lessons complete. So we can go in here in the lesson player, and we're going to, and kind of do things or whatever, and then it's like, oh, sir, I messed it up, and it deleted this whole thing. Don't worry. We'll come back and install a lesson, pick that one, click on it, click back on it, and it'll install it again on your lesson player like it's brand new. Okay? That's why. You go into install lesson and go into that one and mess it up, you're going to have to reinstall the whole thing with the disk with Mr. Hopkins, and you're going to explain to him why you need it reinstalled. Or I'll explain to him. Okay? And then we'll get you signed up for that auto mechanic class. But any questions about anything that we've gone over? Kind of simple for tonight. 1, bring your stuff every week. 2, be on time. Okay? 3, something comes up, let me know that it came up. Pretty simple. Keep it simple. It'll be good. Okay? Any questions? No one?
I have a question, actually.
Okay.
Do you want us to bring our Sino machine or just our laptop?
Don't bring your Sino machine. If you want to lug it, help yourself. You know, if you got a strong back, weak mind, help yourself, okay? No, I mean, it's just going to keep you from having to lug that stuff. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to bring it, but if you come up here and you're like, you know what, it's 3 o'clock, class doesn't start till 6, but I don't have anything to do, it's noisy and blah, blah, blah. You know what, I'm going to go up to the school and practice. Come practice. Help yourself. Sit in here, you can sit in one of the other rooms or whatever. Most of the time, you know, Miss Woodard or Miss Hannah here or whatever, so I mean, somebody will let you in to one of the rooms. So if you want to bring your machine for that, help yourself. We won't need the machines until probably late October, maybe November, somewhere around there. Once we really start getting into it, getting towards the end, we'll get into the advanced classes. Then I'll start telling you, but I'll let you know a week or two in advance, hey, a couple of weeks, start bringing your machine. Next week, bring your machine, you know, whatever, okay? Anything else? Any questions for me? Comments?
So I want to know, so how did you get into that, to work at the courthouse? I mean, obviously you applied, but once you get there, I've heard oftentimes that the court reporters stay, I mean, there's, right? I mean, you're just...
You either die or retire.
Okay, right.
No one usually leaves. It's crazy. I mean, it's, and you'll see, if you ever get to talk to somebody, or you're talking to me, but you'll know why. The money that we make is fantastic. It's crazy, okay? And I'll kind of tell you when we go off the record. I mean, you know, I don't make it public. You know what, I'll just tell you. We just got a raise again. Our fiscal year ends in September. Yeah, it ends in September, starts in October. August, September, October, yeah. But they do all of the stuff beforehand. You know, so we kind of know what's going to happen. So October 1, it already kind of takes effect or whatever, but they do it way in advance. You know, so we just got another cost of living raise, which was 3%, and I think it puts us at $102,000. That's base salary. That's not transcripts,
That's just
anything like that. That's base. Base. That's why. You know, and I don't tell you guys to brag. I tell you guys to encourage.
Right.
Okay? I don't use it. So if you ever hear me talk about salaries and stuff like that, that's why. It's not to brag. I'm proud of it. I am, because I know what it took me to get through school. And I know what it took to get where I am. And that I'm part of a small elite group. I mean, there's not a whole lot of reporters. I'd love to know the numbers of how many reporters there are versus how many went to school. And I'll tell you that too. When I started school, I started with one of the biggest classes there at that school. It was 68 of us started. 68 students started that class. 5 finished. I was one of 5 out of 68. 63 people dropped. And there were people, trust me, way smarter than me. I mean, there was a girl in there that had her PhD in something, you know. She didn't get through. So it doesn't take the smartest person, it just takes the most dedicated person. And you'll see. You'll see. And doing freelance, I mean, you can make the same amount of money pretty close, you know. But, you know, the thing that I like about court is that I know that I'm going to get paid, regardless of whether I'm sick or not. So we get sick days, we get vacation days. That's kind of one of the things too with freelance. You're an employee, but you're not really you're kind of an independent contractor employee. So they'll, you know, most of the firms now have employee status where they take out your taxes. Before, like when I started, you just got paid. So you go and do 300 pages that day, then you got paid so much per hour. I think it was like $25 an hour. And then you got paid per page, you know, which was 5 something a page, or 4 something a page, 370 a page. You know, now it's like 6 something a page. Yeah, so it's changed a lot. But, you know, now they take out your taxes, whereas before, I mean, you just got paid. Then when you go to do your taxes at the end of the year, you have to be able to set some of that money aside to be able to pay your taxes at the end of the year, because nobody pays your taxes.
So
You know?
so one day you're sick, you call in and they have a backup reporter?
Yeah. So they have what's called swing reporters, and I think there's 4 now. There used to be like 8 back then, but they've kind of progressively gotten rid of them because they find that, you know, sometimes, and I'm going to say girls because it's more female dominated, you know, so don't get offended or whatever, you know, but, you know, we're one of very few. I think there's 50 or 55 reporters with the county. I think there's 4 guys. Yeah. And this used to be a male-dominated profession way back in the day. Now it's female-dominated, but it doesn't mean that they're any better. It doesn't mean that you're any worse, you know? It's all about getting through. We don't get paid any different, you know, because we're male. You know, the money's the same. Once you get out, either you can do it or you can't. That's what it comes down to. So I don't get paid more because I'm a guy. Okay? So, I mean, once you get out, you can do it. And that's what you get paid for, is for being able to do it. Okay? And that's why we get paid the money that we do, is because the judges know what we do and appreciate what we do. And you'll find when you get out, there's a lot of ignorance. Okay? There's a lot of smart people out there that are really ignorant. And they'll say ignorant things, and you'll hear it, you know, and you know, I've done it, but I've always been pretty quick, you know, with comebacks and stuff like that. So, you know, and attorneys would always tell me, it's like, you know what, you make too much money for what you do. If you think I make way too much money for what I do, you have no idea what I do. Zero idea what I do. And I'll tell them, I say, you know what, If you think it's so easy, go to school. Go to court reporting school. The dropout rate is 90%, but I'm almost certain you're in that elite 10%. Almost certain, because you're that much smarter. No. And, you know, I think that there's a certain group of people that can do this, okay? So it doesn't, like I said, necessarily take the smartest person, it takes the most dedicated person, okay?
It's about practice.
It is. It's all about practice, and I don't care how you do it, when you do it,
Just
whatever.
do it.
Just do it. And I mean, you know, you've been through school, you know. I mean, you can tell a lot of these, you know, students that haven't been there, and that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care if you can squeeze 30 minutes in a day. Do it. The hardest thing to me was setting up the machine. So when you get home, set up the machine. You don't have to necessarily do it when you get home. Feed the kids, feed your family, do a load of laundry. Just put the kids to bed, it's quiet. You know what, I've got 30 minutes, maybe. And then I need to get to bed because I have to go to work the next day or whatever. Squeeze in 30 minutes. And a lot of students ask me, it's like, well, I don't know, how do I know if I'm practicing good? Good practice is when you're focused, okay? And you'll know what I mean. You know, you're not sitting there slapping the keys. You know what, I practiced for 8 hours. No, you practice for about 30 minutes and you slap the keys for about 7.5 hours. You know what I'm talking about? If you're not here, if you're not there concentrating and getting good practice in where it's like, you know what, I'm in the flow, and some days you'll get it and it's just like, I'm in the flow of it. Keep going if you can. And then there's days it's like, my kids could be reading Cat in the Hat and I'm not gonna get it today. Or I'm gonna struggle to get it. Don't always stop, but maybe not practice as long that day. You have to be able to work through those tough days too, because you're gonna have those tough days. I mean, I've been out 26 years and every now and then I still have days that I just have trouble concentrating, and that's all this is. This whole thing is concentration. That's all it is. It's being able to hear it and write it. If you're not paying attention to the story, you're not, well, he stabbed her 19 times. I wonder why he didn't just stop at 18. And now you're starting to tell yourself a story about why this guy did what he did. That's not up to you.
Right.
Your job is to hear it and take it. That's it. Okay? You don't get paid to make the story better. You're not a producer or a story writer or whatever, you know? But sometimes you get caught up in it and you start listening to the story. And that's okay too, until you're not getting it. Then it's like, bear down. My whole thing was pay attention to something or close my eyes. We learned also that when you lose one sense, your other sense gets better. When I lost my vision, I heard better, to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then, you know, you can ask anyone who's ever lost their eyesight or hearing or, you know, stuff like that. Another one of their senses got stronger because they lose one. We learned that in school. And so it always helped me to close my eyes. You know, and I just kind of picture everything out. I mean, it's just black. I look at the black. Some people didn't always understand what I was talking about. You know, just look at the black. Don't pay attention to what's happening or, you know, pay attention. Just focus on not focusing, if that makes sense. And it makes you comprehend a little bit better. It did to me, okay? One of the other things that we learned in school is that the average, and I'm not saying I'm some genius, but I don't think I'm average, that the average human mind thinks at 900 words a minute. 900. The most that anyone has ever topped out on the machine is at 3 something, okay? And that's probably Kissingberry.
Right.
He's kind of a freak of nature anyway, so I mean, no one understands what's going on. And I think he's wired a little bit differently. He thinks probably at, you know, maybe 11 or 1200 words a minute, I don't know. But he's just always thinking or whatever, so you can think 3 times faster than you can react. So even when you're getting it, and it's like, man, I'm getting this, you can talk yourself out of not getting it. Because you're thinking about getting it instead of listening to the words, writing the words. Now you're thinking, I'm really getting this. I'm getting it. And now you're thinking about something totally different. And now you're not paying attention. So now you start dropping words, and now, oh, now I'm not getting it. You freak yourself out. All of a sudden, you've blown that test, and that's all it takes. Is a small portion of time to get distracted. That's all it takes. But if you just keep breathing, which a lot of people don't do. I went to school with a girl that passed out one time, and she didn't even realize she wasn't not breathing. But she would get so nervous, and she's not breathing, and all of a sudden she's getting like that lady's shirt, and it's red, and it's like, what? Right? And, you know, luckily she was sitting close to the wall. And just for a second, but she wasn't breathing, you know? But if you breathe, and you'll see it when you're practicing, even if you do little finger exercise, and I'll kind of tell you about that too. We're getting kind of a little bit offline, but I think that it's good stuff that I'm going to tell you in shortcuts to kind of help you that help me, okay? But breathing is important. Stay calm. If you keep breathing, you're more limber. You'll find that when you start tensing up, you're not breathing. A lot of times you're not breathing because you're like, but when you tense up, it's harder to move your fingers, and they don't move the way that you need them to. When you're just relaxed, and you're gonna drop, it's gonna happen. I don't do it anymore, but no, I still. Sometimes it just gets super fast, and you're gonna drop. It's human. That's why you have to pass the test in 95% and not 100% or 105%. You know, it's 95%. So there's human error in there, you know, too, but there's not a whole lot of human error, you know. But you're going to find that when you're in school, you're going to drop. Relax. Just keep going. Oh, I dropped. Relax. Keep going. And you're going to find that you're going to get a lot more than what you thought you did. See, people freak out, and I usually tell it to the higher speeds of, you know, like the 225. I think you can miss, on the 225, you can miss like 56 errors or 54 words out of 1,400 and something, 1,500. 225 times 5, whatever that is, I think it's 12 something, 1250, something like that. So you can miss like 54 words. So let's just say you're going along and you drop, you're not going to have huge drops of 30 words. If you did, you hit your head and passed out. That's what happened. You missed 30 words. You drop 30 words every time, auto mechanic, basket weaving, yeah. You're usually going to drop 3 or 4, 5 to 8. Maybe you got banged up on something that maybe you had a 10-word drop. I don't know what you were doing there, but maybe it happened. No big deal. You just dropped 10 words. Keep going. Dropped another 10 words. No problem. Keep going. Keep focused. Keep going. Dropped another 10 words. Now you're getting, you know, a little bit freaked out because it's like, oh my God, I'm dropping all these words. I failed the test. No, you didn't. You just dropped 30 words. You can miss 54. You just dropped 30 words. And had you paid attention and just kept going and kept calm, you would have passed that test and not even realized it. That's how in-depth this is. If people freak out, and once they freak out, it's gone. They're just, I didn't pass. So you blew it. You blew it. And let's say you did 6 of 60. My God, I bombed that test. Bombed it. Start typing it up. Type up everything too. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care if you think you bombed it. Type it up. Everything. And they'll tell you, well, I don't know what they do now. And I've been telling them since I've been here, they should be typing everything up. That's what we did. Typed up everything. I don't care if you missed 90 on a 40. That's not even That's a lot of that test. You fell asleep during a big portion of that test. If you missed 90 in a 40-mile-an-hour test or whatever. But let's just say you bombed it. You really did bomb it, okay? No big deal. But you know what? You take something out of that day. You know what? I learned to spell this word. Or you know what? I looked up this word, and there's a brief for that word. You take that one small thing from that day. One, I had a crappy day writing. I had a crappy day typing up. But I learned a brief today. Take that one thing every day. One small positive thing every day, and you're going to make it. But if you take that negative every day, I failed it again, I failed it again, I failed it again. Auto mechanic, basket weaving. Might want to talk to your some instructors over there about that. Okay. Take the small victories every day. Okay. Practice good practice. Small victories every day. Show up to class every day. Okay. Anything else? All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.